Life happens so fast. Sometimes we take it for granted. It's at moments of great adversity that we are reminded that life is the most important possession we have, and that we must do whatever it takes to keep it, whether it's our own life or the lives of our neighbors. For decades, when disaster strikes, the ironworkers are there on the front line of first responders, dropping everything, putting their own lives on the line to help brothers and sisters, neighbors and strangers in their desperate time of need. This heroic selflessness is at the foundation of the ironworkers. It's who we are.
Because we're ironworkers. Because when there's someone in need and we can help, we're like the Marine Corps. We're the first ones in there.
I've been an ironworker for almost 40 years, and I've seen ironworkers in action. It's just something in the blood.
In 1981, partygoers danced and swayed on two skywalks suspended over the lobby atrium of the Hyatt Regency Hotel in downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Within moments, those crowded skywalks tore loose from their moorings and crashed to the floor on top of dancers and spectators some 4 stories below. 6 years later, a high-rise apartment building under construction in Bridgeport, Connecticut, collapsed in a roar of concrete slabs and steel beams, trapping dozens of construction workers under tons of rubble. In both cases, ironworkers were quick to respond to the tragedies, aiding in the rescue and recovery of trapped victims, cutting through twisted steel and creating accessibility for EMS and search crews. These men and women, these ironworkers, put their lives on the line for their brothers and sisters.
As far as the Hyatt in Kansas City, the local ironworkers pretty much took care of that. We're versed in heavy rigging. Same way in Oklahoma City. The ironworkers were just great. And like I said, when somebody's in trouble, especially ironworkers or anybody, we're there to help, and we can get the job done.
Our guys just ran in there, and they took control, and they did everything humanly possible to get those people out of there.
These heroics are not confined to construction tragedies. Ironworkers were there when the San Francisco Bay Area was rocked by a 7.1 earthquake in 1989, and again most recently in Louisiana in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. No one cared about rewards or publicity, only about saving lives.
Thanks is enough. We don't need anything else.
It was ironworkers who built the rescue cage that lifted 9 miners to safety in Somerset, Pennsylvania. Those miners spent 78 hours trapped in a submerged mine shaft, some 240 feet underground. But once again, the ironworkers were there to help bring them back to the light. There are some moments in time that are indelibly marked upon our memories, events that will live on in our consciousness forever. No single incident in recent history has made more of an impression or brought out the true nature of ironworkers, in fact all Americans, than the attacks on the World Trade Center on September 11th, 2001.
And I got a call from a shop steward. Eddie says, "You're not going to believe it." He says, "A plane just hit the World Trade Center."
The plane that slammed into the building went right over the top of them. And then they were right there and they felt the heat of the explosion and everything.
We were getting flooded with calls from different job sites because everybody's got a cell phone.
It was incredulous. We could not believe that something like this happened.
Immediately started to debate whether it was an accident or a terrorist act. We were still standing there when the second plane hit, which pretty much answered everybody's question.
Another plane. Oh my God. This plane flew directly into the...
I got my car from the garage and we started to get down the West Side Highway.
We knew where we belonged, so we went down there.
Lo and behold, a minute and a half later, building number 2 came down.
By that time, guys had already started to gather on the sidewalk.
I just kept on thinking about, since I am a father, about all the kids who ain't going to see their parents tonight.
They just automatically, on their own, just left the jobs.
What we were trying to do was to man the phones here and give the advice, because that's where the members call. They call down here.
The phones actually, from that point on, never stopped ringing for days.
We didn't go home for like 2 nights. We stayed here, and there was so many calls coming in, to help and stuff like that, which was great.
If anybody could have done it, it had to be us going in there first.
All the ironworkers and all the people in the building trades did what they had to do that day. And any of them would do it on any given day. You pull together and you take care of your own. And as an American, you know, you have to be there.
There was nobody making a phone call to come down and help. It was a spontaneous outburst of love to run down there with whatever you had in your hands to try to save life.
From the beginning, I watched people around me just rise above themselves constantly, and just one selfless act after the next.
Ironworkers don't have a lot of fear of what we do. We're always on the edge. The wind's blowing, the weather's blowing. I mean, we're always using torches. We're lifting heavy loads. So it's a natural thing for an ironworker to get down here. It's just something we do.
I didn't think I was a hero. Still to this day, don't think I'm a hero. But they thought you were. And it sends shivers up your spine, you know?
You felt like it was your job, not because it was a job, but because it was a duty.
Ironworkers are always there to help. They're gung-ho people, and they like to be involved, and if there's anything that can be done, you can be sure an ironworker is going to be involved.
I don't want to sound corny, but I mean, I really do think that that's what makes this country great. We got all kinds of people that when the chips are down, do what they got to do.
It wasn't even a thing to think about. It's like it's an automatic. That's the brotherhood of ironworkers and what we try and do for a fellow human being, a fellow man.
Well, they're pretty impressive people. They do seem to be neglected when people are talking about the heroes, because if there were going to be anybody removed alive, it would have had to have been in conjunction with the ironworkers.
We have a word in our business. We call each other brother, you know, and from the day the World Trade Center went down, you guys became our brothers, you know what I mean? And it's going to stay that way. It'll never change. We consider you our brothers, you know, so that's the highest compliment one fireman could pay to another fireman is calling him brother.
Time, they say, heals all wounds. That may be true, but it helps to know that you gave everything you had for your fellow man when the time came. Be proud of what you do. Be proud of who you are. You're an ironworker.